Welcome back to another live lesson through the Spirit and Power. Yahweh by Shema Rashad. All praise and honor, glory go to Yahweh by Shema Rashad.
All praise, honor, glory, Yahweh Shah.
That's right. And before we start this live lesson, we like to honor, all praise, all glory to our power.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Ba'ashem, Ba'ashem.
Come. Double honors to our apostles and elder bishop that Ruel, and salutation to the hopeful elect, to the house of Dawadah, which is in the Hebrew house of David, right? And to you we say Shalom, salutation to the hopeful elect, to the sincere Akim and Akwaf that listen and learn and believe in this truth, you know, and are patiently waiting on our Lord to return, and to the Akwaf, right, the sincere sisters among us that may you continue to silently learn, and continue to obey your husband if you have it. Now, this live lesson is going to be dealing with news and prophecy, because there was a lot that was going on over these past couple of days. You know, the elders been reporting on it, especially this new incident that regarding Venezuela and Trump, you know, going into Venezuela. That's been making breaking news. Trump going into Venezuela. He taking Maduro, right, which was the president of Venezuela, and his wife, and now they hold custody in New York, right over here in New York. No, I don't think it's in Brooklyn, but it's in New York. Yeah, we can get more details, but he's holed up here in New York, and you know that right there is showing you like the devil horns is coming out, because the whole idea that he just came, and also that was a sovereign land. You know, the elders in the Elder Madia of the main camp, he was going into it in the live. You know, one of the elders on the live was speaking, and they were saying how basically that was unconstitutional. That was wrong what Trump did, because you basically went to a sovereign country, and you basically took, you know what I'm saying, and you took a president out of that sovereign country. You bombed the country. You know what I'm saying? Went into a sovereign country, and now you're trying to seize the land for yourself. You know what I'm saying? That was unconstitutional. That wasn't approved by Congress. That wouldn't get no order from no judge. He just did that. He just acted out on his own. So this is why I said the devil horns is starting to show, because now Esau is really starting to show in these times who he really is. That he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. And us in the faith, right? Job 9:24, because us in the faith understand who the devil really is, but now he's starting to reveal himself more and more through his actions. You see what I'm saying? That's why the Lord said, "Don't you shall know them by their fruits." You see what I'm saying? Bring that out. That's Matthew chapter 7. You shall know them by their fruits. This is how we know this is Esau, Edom, Trump lineage, and just who these devils really are, because of how they act, man. Those are Edomites, man. That's what Edomites do. You know? They oppress nations. They take over lands. What you call European colonization is just Esau just going into land to land, country to country, taking over shit. And taking in resources for themselves. Right? It's Matthew chapter 7 and verse, let's start at 16. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Right? You shall know them by their fruits. Right? Because the Lord Yahweh Shah is saying is that it's going to be evident to you. You know what I'm saying? Who these men really are, whether they are righteous or wicked, who these individuals are. You know what I'm saying? And it's evident to us that Esau is the so-called white man. That's very clear through his actions, and that he matches. Yeah. Yeah, Esau. Yeah, he is the devil. But also the so-called white man, because that's how he identified himself. You know what I'm saying? And that he is the devil. He's a slanderer, right? He's the devil that the Bible speaks of, and it's evident through his actions. Like that whole display of Venezuela, him going over bombing Venezuela and taking their president, and then he going to try to. Then he told us something about until a new transition of power is set up with his code for a puppet leader, because that's what America does, right? They're going to a sovereign nation, right? Kill off their president, right? Or make sure that their president or prime minister is missing, and then set up a puppet leader. All of a sudden has good relations with the United States. Sellout, a puppet. And what does he do? He sell out the people by making up foreign policies and laws that only benefit America, but is disadvantageous to the people that's living in the land. You see what I'm saying? That's how Esau get down. So now that he got rid of Trump got rid of the Venezuelan president, they're gonna set up a sellout. They're gonna set up a puppet leader, man. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna create laws and policies that strengthen the United States. And that's gonna hurt the people in Venezuela. That's how Esau works, man.
Right, regardless of what. You just gave them the option. Because regardless of what, man, you gotta think about those who secretly, you got people in power that was secretly, people in power from Venezuela
Right.
that was secretly plotting on this demise to transpire. So regardless of how you look at it, this situation was going to occur anyway. And it's crazy to say, but they chose the lesser two evils. Although there's no such thing, evil is evil.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's no less of an evil. Evil is evil. When you do an evil and unrighteous decree, what happens is the people are going to mourn because nobody's winning except those or the elite. But in truth, it just came there to crumble that country more than it already has been under the rulership of this Lord God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I bet
Because
you
he wasn't righteous.
Right, and I bet you when they set up that new puppet leader, they're gonna have it to where a lot of the oil that country has, because Venezuela is one of the largest oil production countries in the world. So they're gonna be making now they own something. This new puppet leader, I call him a puppet leader because you're gonna see through his actions he's a sellout. He's gonna start making policies where he gonna start giving America the oil for the discount.
Nah, because you know what's crazy? I heard this morning on the news. My eyes was closed when I was listening to it, but they were saying something in regards of gas in New York City is going to be like for the first time in over 30 or 40 years at a $2 rate per gallon, and I was like $2. You know, the lowest it been in New York was like 3 and some change, maybe 3.25, somewhere around there.
Right.
But it hasn't been in the $2 range in a long time.
Right.
So now it makes sense that, you know what I'm saying, he got his finger on that. But China, you know what I'm saying, let me see if I can pull that.
China was business partners with Venezuela.
Right, we just told them
Yeah.
to wrap it up, like, yo,
I better not come and take that
don't
oil
come
because
over there trying to take that oil, you would definitely
right, because that's
release this guy, man.
right because we had business. We was you know what I'm saying, we was a part of that deal. Right? We had a cut in that oil. And you basically just cut them out of the deal and you want the oil for yourself, man. You know?
Right.
And like I said earlier, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if you got this new puppet leader that like I said, selling America oil for the discount. Or even giving it for free. You know?
Hey,
For the real low.
that's not impossible.
No, it's not. And that's what it just shows how wicked Esau is, and that he's always been the same that he's always been, man. He's been greedy, you know what I'm saying? And he's a covetous man. I just show you that Esau, Edom, the so-called YT man is covetous, bro. And they are violent, man, because they love violence and war, you know? They love to make war, they love violence, and they covetous. They're never satisfied. It's all about greed with Esau. Esau never has enough. He always would justify reasons to gain more. You know what I'm saying? Esau, the scripture said that even a thief will leave a cluster of grapes, right? But Esau won't even leave you with no cluster. That's like a little leftover grapes. A thief, the Lord told you that a thief will take what he needs and be gone and leave you something. The cluster of grapes, you know what I'm saying, leave you a little bit. Esau take everything. He ain't leaving nothing behind. You know what I'm saying? He a thief that takes everything. You see? Going back to Matthew 7 and 16, ye shall know them by their fruits. Right? We know who Esau is because of his actions. The fruit represents his actions, right? So we know Esau, so-called YT men, are the wicked because of their actions, man. They perform unrighteous decrees, right? They rob, rape, and pillage different nations, and we seen that Venezuela, the injustice they do, they backstab other nations, they're just wicked, right? That's why it's called the White House, because the Edomite, so-called YT man, is in power. It said, ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? No, because thorns don't grow with grapes. You know what I'm saying? Thorns don't grow on grapes, and thistles don't grow on figs. Okay? You know what I mean? So, you can't. Let me get down to the point 17. It says, even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. So, a righteous man, you know what I'm saying, is not going to be performing evil, and an evil man not going to be righteous. You see what I'm saying? Light cannot mingle with dark, nor dark mingle with light. So the Lord is telling us that, even though, as He says in some of the 10th chapter, a wicked man will humble himself, right, in disguise. Roughly paraphrasing, a wicked man is going to humble himself to get close to you, right? But if not, but he shall be as a looking glass at the farm, right? It's cleaned out, a looking glass. You'll be able to clearly see that he's wicked. You know what I'm saying? Because he can't hide his wickedness, no matter how much he try to how much he try to disguise himself and humble himself. He can't hide his wickedness, man. And then you got eyes to see and ears to hear. You will see by his fruits, his actions, that he's wicked. You know what I'm saying? Because he can't hide that. As the scripture says, as iron rusts, so is his wickedness. He won't be able to hide his wickedness. He's gonna do wicked things. He's gonna say wicked things out of his mouth. You know? He only could disguise himself for so long before them horns come out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're seeing. He saw that wickedness starting to be revealed, that he is the wicked, that he's the portal of wickedness. Right? That them horns are starting to come out, that he's the devil, man. This is why when you see all around the world, people are protesting about what happened in Venezuela. Right. About how Maduro, the president, Maduro and his wife getting basically kidnapped, and they were taken against their will and brought over here to the U.S., right? You know what I'm saying? Yep. This is major protesters around the world, and that's the uprising of the people, man. The Lord will get into that.
Yeah. It's Habakkuk 2 and 5, right? And it says, ye also, because we transgressing by wine, which is his doctrine, forcing you to take up his ways, he's run his country.
Right.
He is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home. Meaning he's gonna always, right, like the Ak had said earlier, he's never satisfied.
Right.
He can't have enough. So he's always devising a plan to find a way to go up in somebody else's country.
Right.
And take their natural resources.
Right, because Esau is a money grab. It's all about the money.
Right.
It's constantly a money grab.
Their resources, or take over their power position.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like chess. He's playing chess. But in real life, on people and using people. You know? He says, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. So this is what we just say. He enlarges his desire. He can't get enough.
Covetous.
Right. He's always going to find something new to grab, man. You know, he's looking for something in somewhere that hasn't been accomplished or empowered by something other than himself. Right. You know?
And there's been a movie, so I can just add on, there's been a movie a couple of years back called Don't Look Up on Netflix. There's been a movie, and it's basically about these two scientists, right? They were working in, I think it was Boston neurophysics department. I think it was Boston Neurophysics. And basically, they found that in their observatory in the university, they found that it was a giant asteroid that was coming that had the power to destroy the Earth, like a extinction level event. So what did they do? They warned the government, the officials, right? And then the officials didn't believe them. But then what happened? Once their science got back to them, they started to say, "Oh, the math is mathing." You know what I'm saying? And that this asteroid is going to destroy the Earth.
Right.
So but the government at first they wanted to hide it, right? They try to the people, the students and the professor that found it, they were trying to get the word out. You know what I'm saying? The student and the professor, they were trying to get that word out, right? And eventually, the government was on board. The point being is that once they found out that there were resources up there in space that they could get to, like gold and other minerals that they could live on and be rich. They said, no, don't do that. Right, yeah.
Because they're fundamentally living by money.
Right, they bought that mission. They was like, nah, we can live, we can get rich.
Yeah, let me finish this up. Then it says, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, which we are saying, but gathereth unto him all nations. And that's the point. Like, what the
Let's go.
yeah, man, like, what was the point of that, man?
Right.
You, damn, man. Anyway, yeah, man. That's just the devil being the devil, man. And we just was talking about it and how he does, man. Regardless of what and where, it doesn't matter what it is, man. This little morsel of space that we got to come out and teach, they still want partake in that, man. They want to take over that.
Right.
They don't want to walk around because that's too much for them.
Yeah,
They want to walk through what we're doing.
Right, that's pride.
Come on,
That's why
man.
he's the proud man. It's
Yeah.
called him a proud man. Because there's no respect, there's no humility.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
don't know how to humble himself.
Right.
This is
And
why,
even
this is why,
two-thirds.
right. The Lord made him to be destroyed on that day, man.
Right.
He was created to be destroyed on a specific day, man.
The day of the Lord.
So, you know,
Absolutely.
to you brothers, man, that's out there going through the shit that we all go through, you know, it's frustrating because the arrogance of these people, man, that shit just drives me crazy. Like, it's just, like, I don't get it. You understand? I really just be saying to myself, like, how could you think that that's how it's going to go? And continually go this way, man.
Right, because that's why the scripture say he's a proud man.
Yeah,
he
you don't have no
exalts
regard,
himself
man.
as God, you know, sitting in the seat of power, thinking that he is a power, if we paraphrase. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Saying in his heart that he is power. So Esau's a proud man, and see with Esau, Edom, so-called YT man, their spirit is not upright in them. It says in Isaiah, Psalm 58:3. Their spirit is not right, so they proud, they wicked. And they're not going to humble themselves or even respect what we're doing, you know, because they're the devil. And then you got 2/3 of our own people that's not even humble, you know, that disrespect what we do. And they're going to get judged for that too, you know. But regarding this truth, we got to possess our souls. As it says in Luke 21:19, possessing your souls. Because you got to have patience. In your patience, possess your souls. Because if you lose patience, you out the whoop. Because you will go back in the world, you know, bitter, or trying to find what you was missing out on the world because you lost patience. You was that wicked servant that think, oh, the master ain't coming. When you go back into Matthew 25th chapter, you were thinking that the master wasn't coming, so you was beating your fellow servants and you was surfing them. You know what I mean? That's that partying.
Or it might be, or you might have that spirit on you where you want to, you know, find excuses to get out of this thing. You know, because there's something else I could be doing, right?
Right.
And that's the key with a lot of these folk, man. They find this truth to be grievous, and they find that there's something else that they could be doing.
Right.
They want a shortcut to this marathon.
Right, they're losing patience.
Right.
That's them losing patience. So it's a marathon, not a sprint. And that's them losing patience. That's why they say, Lord will come back 10 years. He ain't back yet. Like shit, like these comments like that. You sound like
the enemy, man. You
right.
sound like her. Where your God at now? You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of foolery is that, man?
Right.
You want to taunt me about something that I believe in?
Yeah, but
and that's something that I believe in. You're gonna be destroyed by it.
Mm-hmm.
Because of your weakness.
Yep.
And your inability to respect what's before you.
Right.
The head of a man is a woman.
Mm-hmm. And as it is written, the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
Yep.
So you have these people that don't, 2/3 that don't believe, the heathens gonna get judged, but the 2/3 that don't believe, they're gonna see in that day, as it is written, they shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauty of holiness, thou shalt be renewed with the dew of thy youth. So when they see these so-called black Native Americans with spiritual power, you know what I'm saying, doing miraculous miracles in their face, that's when they're gonna be scared, man.
Well, that's when they're gonna want to partake.
Right, it's gonna be too late at that day. Because the Lord is not gonna want somebody that didn't believe. Like that just shows a lack of faith. Now we know that some brothers that's gonna come into the truth gonna have the faith of Thomas, meaning that they gotta see for their faith to be activated. They gotta see something. They gotta see the sign. So, because that's what Thomas did when Yahweh Shah was resurrected. on the third day, and he came amongst the
That's
disciples.
it.
Right, he wanted to see the whole,
Yeah.
to verify.
But he
that was the
believed
Lord.
after that, though, wholeheartedly.
Yeah, he had faith.
Yeah.
He was still of the elect, but his faith was activated through sign. He had to see a sign first. That's why the Lord Yahweh made that point where it said, blessed is he who haven't seen but believes. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, as a body, we're being tested by faith. This is a walk of faith, right? But we're not seeing the actual miracles and miraculous things that the Lord Yahweh did in the days of old, but we know it's coming. You know what I'm saying? And we're believing now. You know, before seeing these miraculous things that the Lord did of old, and He's about to do it now. You know, expect those miracles to come. You know what I'm saying? Because we see spiritual signs, but the Lord gonna actually start making those big miracles that we see, that we read about in the scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be undeniable in that day. You know? Yeah. I'm gonna finish this up. Yeah, expect those miracles, right? Expect those miracles. But we know some brothers and sisters that gonna come in the faith and have that faith and trauma. You know, they gotta see. They're gonna see the work of miracles, the spiritual power, and that's gonna make them believe. Oh shit, you know. But for a lot of you, the 2/3, majority of you, it's too late. You know? That's what it's Matthew 7:18. It says a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree, verse 19, every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Right, so a wicked individual cannot be righteous, or a righteous individual is not going to follow after wickedness. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the Lord said, you shall know them by their fruits. Right? So if he's wicked, he's going to do wicked things. If he's wicked, he's going to do wicked shit. If he's righteous, he's going to follow after righteousness. His works are going to speak, he's going to showcase that he is righteous. As it is written, you know, he who is righteous is righteous. You know, like we paraphrase it. You know, and that's going to show, and that's going to be shown through your works, right? And your faith, because faith and works is synonymous. So their works shows how wicked they are. You see what I'm saying? How somebody works on their faith, right? They're a wicked individual. Their works show that they're wicked. See? So we know again who Esau is, the so-called YT man, the white man, because of his works, right? What does he do when he gets power? He makes unrighteous decrees, right? He oppresses people, right? He makes war with different nations. He's violent, you know? He blasphemes, he's wicked, right? He has no integrity, no morals, right? These are all the behaviors and actions of Esau, the so-called white man, right? And this is what he's been doing with his power for the past couple of generations, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's evident, it's clear, right? And this recent incident in Venezuela shows that even more. That bad tree, right? Bringing forth corrupt fruits. Because that's wicked what they did. But he is the wicked. They doing it, like he's showcasing it, like at this point.
That's what a proud man do. He show you his spoils.
Right.
If he killed the bear, he gonna show you that. He gonna take the bear head off and put it on the wall. Put it on the mount and then hammer it in the wall.
Right. You can't stop being what you are. If you're wicked, you're gonna be wicked.
He'll show you everything.
Right.
If he could, he'll show you the damn skeleton bone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That all the people he done killed. He'll show you this if he could. But he know that right there is showing who he is, and he don't want that. He keep disguising himself.
Right.
And saying he's this person, he's that person.
Right.
He's of this nation, he's of that nation.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
The scriptures clearly expose the scriptures clearly expose him as the wicked because of his actions. Now we know, as it says in Isaiah 69, eyes that they can't see, ears that they can't hear. We can see it. Those that's in the house of the faith, those that's in the house of the Lord, we can clearly see that Esau, the so-called white man. But as it says in Isaiah 60:2, gross darkness to people. Because you have a lot of people that's still ignorant to who Esau is. They saying Esau is the so-called Arabs. Esau is not the so-called white man. Like they
Esau
bugged out.
The J-double-O.
Right. Like these people are bugged out, you know, and they can't clearly see because it's gross darkness. That means they very ignorant to what the scriptures are saying. Why? Because the Lord blinded them. You know, if you can't see that Esau, the so-called white man, either because the Lord has instructed you, man, or the Lord has blinded you, man. And also too, because you took a bag, man, because you have also wicked ass leaders that took a bag and know that Esau, the so-called white man, but they purposely saying to their congregation that, oh, Esau is someone else. Esau not the white man, he's someone else. You know, to bring confusion to the people because they took that damn bag. That's why the scripture said a gift destroys the heart. See?
That's Social Security.
Right, that's that money.
Food stamps.
That bribes. Because all them bribes do, when they bribe these weak ass leaders, it destroys them.
That's what separates.
It destroys the whole congregation.
Right. That's what broke up the home.
Right. Because they took the money, and now at one time they were teaching the name of the Lord, and they were teaching that he's the so-called white man. Now you're saying that right, that those are not the names of the Lord, and that, you know, Esau not the so-called white man. That's going on. Because we know the name of the Lord is Yahweh, his son name is Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you can't take the bag and preach what you want to preach. They're not going for that.
Right, because you took a deal.
Right, you take that bag, you're gonna say what the hell we want you to say.
Right, because you already corrupted, so you serve the mammon now. They got you to serve mammon. They got you to stop serving the Lord and serve mammon. Right, and see, the thing is, the Lord said I will put you in a stronger leader because you got these wicked ass leaders who think they serve the Lord because they think, oh, but you're not, because you're not mammon. And you feel in your mind that serving mammon is justified, that you could do both. That's that stronger leader. That you can serve mammon and the Lord. You can go.
You seen that video where Bishop
work.
Nathaniel was calling on the names, but he was like mocking it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, he's bugging.
Yeah, Lord got him under that.
The funny part about that is that the Lord is going to make his destruction public.
Yep.
Like everybody's going to see it. Especially those who are in this camp.
He's got some other things.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna see it firsthand. They probably done seen it already. 'Cause I know he up there fucking what you call that shit, being a womanizer. Probably gonna knock down half the congregation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they the ones talking about you can't have you can't have more than one wife or something like that.
Yeah. And if you have a wife, she gotta be in the truth.
Right.
And that's wicked.
So now, if you had a girlfriend
don't even say that.
Right, you had a girlfriend all this time, she ain't your wife. You ain't married her in the sense of what they consider marriage, right? Mm-hmm. Now they telling you gotta break up with her. So you break up with her, but then they say, nah, you don't have to leave the congregation. You can still come to the church. You feel where I'm coming from? Yeah. You know what she's doing? You know what they're doing? They're lining her up to take her in the back.
Right, and also to commit adultery. Because what's going to happen?
Being adulterous.
That not only destroying homes, you destroying whole households.
Yep.
But now this woman gonna commit adultery because she think, oh well, I can't be with you because you in this, and also that bring blame to the ministry because now she thinking that this shit is some evil cult.
Yeah.
And now. You know what I'm saying? Where she would have believed, she dissuaded because of what you, right? Because of the stubborn, right? Because of what you doing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now she blaming the truth for them taking her husband, and it wasn't the case. It was just that these reprobates, you know, that her husband wasn't reprobate, and she followed other reprobate.
Yeah.
Let the blonde lead the blonde, both fall in the ditch.
Now, for those who are listening, you know what I mean. That should give you a heads up, man. You got to do your homework, man. You got to do your research. Because if it's not scriptural, then what is it? It's man-made, right? And if it's man-made, it's not the truth. So if somebody tells you, if your woman is not in the truth, you can't deal with her, then you need to research that. You got to look that up. You know what I'm saying? Got that scripture?
Huh?
You got that scripture? That precept?
What? Oh, happy to see your father?
No, with the woman. If she's not in the truth, you still can deal with her.
Oh, that's 1 Corinthians 7. It's locked in.
Tell her. Is that 7?
Yeah.
14? No. That's 7.
Yeah, huh.
Yeah. Tell her.
So yeah, that's 1 Corinthians 7:14, the 7th chapter where Apostle Paul was speaking on the on how to deal with women, right? That it's okay to get, if a woman get married, if she finds a husband, right? It's okay that a man, you know what I'm saying, has a woman as well if he's burning. You know what I'm saying? And also for God in relationship, the Apostle Paul made it clear that, you know, if you deal with a woman that don't believe on this truth, that's not in the truth, you can still deal with her as long as she's doing good by you.
Exactly.
Because that's how she gonna receive her salvation through you. As it is written, she shall be saved through childbearing. See what I'm saying? By being a wife. You know, so long as she's a wife to you, and she's serving you, she's your helpmate, and she's helping you out and lightening the load, it's all good, man. As long as she's not doing no foul play by you, you can still deal with her, man.
And two, that's another sign that lets you know that the Lord not dealing with the woman. He only dealing with the men. You understand what I'm saying? Because the men are going to teach this truth, and the men are going to bring back Israel. You get what I'm saying?
Right. I would say to add on, they're not dealing with the same capacity because their elect lady's still gonna be there.
Right.
But it's not at the same capacity. That's what the brother was meant. It's not gonna be at the same capacity as a woman. A woman's job is just to be silent, listen and learn, be silent among the churches, listen and learn, and to do what? To be a helpmate, right? Which means to help her husband if she has it. You know what I'm saying? And work on herself, work on her spirit to be a better woman. A woman of Yahweh, a daughter of Yasharallah. You know what I'm saying? A daughter of Zion. Working on being more refined, right? Being more ladylike, more like Sarah, you know? More like a woman of Yahweh by Shah. With more virtue and honor. Okay? So the men and women, yeah, the Lord did with both of us, right? Both sexes, but he's not dealing with them at the same capacity. The scripture says, my dwelling is in the tabernacle of men. So the Lord is dealing heavily with the men and the women because the men have more work to do than the women.
Ultimately,
you know what I'm saying?
Ultimately, Israel's
in this ministry
going to come through the men. We're going to bring back the nation of Israel, like the sands of the seas and the stars of the heavens, through the men. You get what I'm saying? Of that seed.
That's what I'm looking for. Titus chapter 1 and verse 11 in the NLT. It says they must be silenced because they are turning whole families away from the truth. And that's what's going on. If a couple love each other and they got some sense into that, and they're going to walk away. So one knows that would have faith, you know what I'm saying? They're going to step out. And then the ones that join them with rules like that to say, oh, your woman gotta be in the truth, or your husband gotta be in the truth. You know, while you with us, you know, members like IUIC and camps like them, the husbands and wives that do join that are reprobates. You know what I'm saying? But they don't have any sense. They simple. They believe in every word.
They don't do their homework. They're not studying. They're not studying.
Right.
They actually just casual.
Right. They simple.
Going off of whatever somebody tells you.
Exactly. Simple.
Like, you might as well go back to church. Right there with the pork chop thing.
Right. They simple, believe in every word. You know, and they have a zeal but not a corner of knowledge. Exactly. And see, that's what these wicked leaders do. They take advantage of our people's ignorance and lack of study, lack of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? As it says in Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. You know, because thou hast rejected me, because thou hast rejected knowledge, right? I shall reject thee from being priest. For being priest unto me, roughly paraphrasing. So the Lord is destroyed. So the Lord is saying that our people are destroyed because they don't have the truth. And because they don't have the truth, they don't have the understanding. So now because they don't have a good grasp of the scriptures, they can be easily persuaded regarding scripture, regarding any matter. Right? They can be persuaded to think about, believe anything regarding the scriptures because they don't fully have good grasp of the milk. They're not rooted in the scriptures. They're not rooted in it. So if somebody were to tell them something, you were saying it's simple, you know. They believe in every word because they're not rooted. They don't have a full grasp of the scriptures, man. And that's why the Lord got a lot of slack. They got a lot of blood on their hands. IUIC, GOCC, these false prophets, they got a lot of blood on their hands because they led a lot of people astray. You know, because those people are not rooted, and ultimately they were blinded, and you told them lies, man. So they got a lot to pay for doing that, you know. relying on the Lord's word, you know, speaking lies, using the Lord's word to basically spew lies, right? This is Titus chapter 1 verse 11. They must be silent because in the NLT it says they must be silent because they are turning whole families away from the truth by their false teachings, and they do it only for money. See, IUIC, GOCC, these dudes have a 501c3. Remember, you shall know them by their fruits. So, as it says in Matthew 7:20. So, these dudes, the 501c3, they don't really tell you that they teach it for money because that's a tax exempt form, which means that they can collect tithings and all the money and donation that they receive in tithings and donations, they get to keep for themselves among the organizations, right? They don't got to pay it to Esau. They don't got to render nothing to Caesar. You see what I'm saying? So now, with that being said, you know, it's all going to be a money grab, a money play. All these individual kids that got a 501c3, IUIC, for example, right? It's all a money grab for them. It's not about teaching people the truth. It's about the money grab. They in a state of they in a state of a strong delusion. They can serve Mammon and they can serve the Lord, man. But see, they really just serving Mammon at the end of the day. It's all about money, man. This is why you gotta this is why we recommend and we suggest you follow the men of Great Millstone, man, because they got those are men with 100% truth. That camp has 100% truth, man, and the men that subscribe to the like doctrine, man, because you got individuals that that doctrine is off, man. IUIC, GOCC, ICBK, that doctrine is off. Genesis, that doctrine is off. You see. And through the work you can see it's more about money rather than about teaching. Because that's all they care about. Yeah, they be seeing the teachers, they be dropping their fucking Cash App and they sell. I'm like, what the, you know what I'm saying? Below the lesson and shit, or the live. I'm like, they put in donations and all that. I'm like, come on, man. Right, it's all about money.
It's not truth. It's not truth to them. It's about what you could get. It's almost
it's a money grab.
Like that Instagram situation. You get likes and followers, and you know you become what they call that shit, influencers.
Right.
And that's what they are. They're just influencers. They're not children of the power, man.
Right. They're not the Israel of Yahweh Shemal Shah.
I don't know. They are the Israelites that own Israel.
It's in Titus 1:11 in the KJV. It says, whose mouth must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. See? Filthy lucre. Why is it called filthy lucre? Right? That lucre is money. Why is it called filthy though? Because you're not supposed to use the Bible to make money off of. You know what I'm saying? To make profit. You know what I'm saying? You try to turn the word of the Lord to a hustle. That's what makes it filthy and dirty.
You're trying to make it a selling point.
Right, that's what you're doing. You're trying to make this truth into a selling point. They gain more members so that you can gain more money in donations, you know, and through merchandise. But y'all be selling merchandise and donations, man.
You be selling memes. You be selling prayers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In the Hebrew, there's something else with these folks.
Yeah, and what the scriptures say, the Lord told you to buy it free and sell it not.
Yep.
That's in the scriptures, you know. I think that's Isaiah 55. If it's not 54. Isaiah 55, verse 1, it says, ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters. The water represents the word. The thirsters is those that seek the truth, right? Everybody that's seeking the truth supposed to come to the word. This is as it says Isaiah 34:6, right? Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. None shall seek ye out of the book and read. None shall want his mate. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot add this book. You can't combine this book with any other book. This is 100% full truth. You don't need other books to complete this. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this book got a portion of truth and there's another portion of truth and another book. No, this book is 100% full truth, man. 100%, 144% truth. All right. So with that being said, you gotta come to the, you gotta seek out the book, this book, the Bible, and read, man. as it says in Isaiah 34:16. And that's where the truth is at. So those that thirst represent the truth seekers, the ones that seeking the truth, right? And we know that's going to be the elect, because the Lord going to put it on. He going to cause the elect that need to be wake up. He's going to cause them to thirst. Same way how Neo in the Matrix, right? Before he met Morpheus, he had a curiosity for the truth. He was curious about it. He wanted to know more about Morpheus and the organization he was a part of. So that curiosity, so that it was that curiosity that Neo had in the Matrix that led him to the truth and led him to see the truth, you know. So it's that curiosity and that desire that the Lord putting on the elect to thirst for the word, and it's going to be that thirst and that desire to see, that hunger for the word that's going to make them search, and eventually the Lord is going to lead them to the truth. The Lord going to lead them to the truth. See what I'm saying? That's all through the spirit of fire. How about Shemal Shah? So it says, "Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that have no money, come ye buy and eat. Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price." All right. So that wine and milk represent this truth. Because what did it say now? He moved the 6th chapter. It said, "Have you tasted of First Peter 2:3? You know, have you tasted of the Lord? You see that it's a good thing." Roughly paraphrasing. So this word is sweet. It's sweet unto the believers. It's sweet unto those that know, man. It's like milk. It's like milk and honey in our mouth. You know what I'm saying?
What he said, without money and without what?
It says, "Come ye buy." It says, "And he that have no money, come ye buy and eat."
Buy and eat.
Right.
Without money. You know what I'm saying? How you pay for it is through your time.
Exactly.
And sacrificing that which you need to be a part of.
Right. You said you
Take
make
off
time.
that old you,
Right.
put on this new you.
Right. And that takes time.
Yep.
And, you know, and just like El Amani put in a lesson, you know, you have having time versus making time. We did a lesson on that a couple of days ago. Having time versus making time. You know, and he made a good point. You know, like when we have time for the
That's afforded.
yeah, we have
But
time.
making time is when you sacrifice.
Right.
That's
You know,
what sacrifice means.
right. And like he was saying, roughly paraphrasing, you know, we have when the things that we want to do, we have time for it. But when it comes to priorities and things we don't want to do, the things that we need to do, Salaki, and our priorities, you know, we gotta find ourselves making time. No, we gotta making time is finding and fitting it in your schedule. You know what I'm saying? Having time is that you have time to come to it when you can, but making time is when you can fit it in your schedule. You see what I'm saying? And we gotta make time for this truth, man. And if you're thirsty and you're hungry, you're going to make time. That's that fire. That's that zeal. You're going to make time for this word. You know what I'm saying? It's no matter working. It's no matter at your extracurricular activity that you're doing. You know what you got going on in your life that's going to stop you from making time to get into this word, man. You see what I'm saying? To get involved in this truth. And you know the amount of time that's gonna, and nothing that's going on in your life that's gonna make you do that. You see? So this is sweet unto us. This is sweet unto the believers that know this word. You know, it's like milk. People call this as described here as milk. You know, and honey. You see what I'm saying? I mean, no. Scriptures also describe it as honey. But in this verse, Isaiah 55:1, the word is called milk. You know.
Bitters. It's everything, man. It's
Yeah.
everything. Bitters, sweet, tough. What you call it? Dissolvable. You know what I'm saying? Like everything in this truth it comes in every dimension. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that you have to accept, because everything ain't gonna be like a smooth thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna always have that best day where you cool with it. Some days you're gonna be like struggling trying to get a lesson together. Some days you're gonna be struggling trying to study because the devil is on you. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to distract you. He's trying to stop you from doing that work. He's
Right.
trying to tell you, like just the other day, I was, like time was flying, and I was like, yo, I got to do this lesson. 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 I had an inspiration, and just as quick as I had it, it left me. And I was like, how the hell? You know what I'm saying? Because what happened was when it came to me, I didn't jump on it. You know what I'm saying? Right then and there, I was supposed to jump on it.
Right by the iron's
And I
hot.
did, exactly. And I gave that second thought, and it left me. Because when I was like, all right, I'm ready to do it now, I couldn't bring those scriptures back to my mind.
Right.
But the crazy part is, after I did, because I switched the whole lesson out, and I did another lesson. After I did that, it came back to me, and I should have did it again. I should have did another lesson on that, because that was really what I wanted to talk about. But that's something else I can talk about maybe today. Because I ain't doing one daily for the day now. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get that out. Once I finish with this, push that out.
Isaiah 55:2, it says, wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which is satisfied not? Yeah, you working to make money, right? And that also, you shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's a question mark, because that whole idea of you shouldn't be working to spend money for things that's not bread. You know, you shouldn't be paying for breakdowns. You shouldn't be paying for Hebrew names and Hebrew prayers. You shouldn't be praying. You shouldn't be paying to get right, to get to listen to lessons or get counsel. You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense. That's why the scripture said here, wherefore do you spend money for things which is not bread? This truth is not bread.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's likened unto bread.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we need to sustain ourselves every day, just like actual bread, but it's not physical bread. So you know what I'm saying? It's not something that you would spend money on.
No.
You ain't supposed to be spending money on this truth. Physical bread you spend money on.
Right.
But this is spiritual bread. You spend your time with this.
Right.
You spend time, not money. You know what I'm saying? Like the brother brought out earlier, you spend time, not money. So you're not supposed to be spending no keep paying for anything in regard to this truth, man. Freely give and freely give. Like the Lord told the disciples, freely give and freely give. So if you have camp leaders and camps charging you for the truth,
That's crazy.
that's a red flag, and that's bad fruit. That's corrupt fruit. That's a bad tree right there. You need to get away from it. But you shouldn't be paying for anything. Continuing on, it says, wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which is satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and your soul's delight itself in fatness. Right, that's that good tree with the good fruits. And those, and remember this, as it says in Jeremiah 3:14, I shall set the pastors after thy own heart. You know what I'm saying? That shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. So the Lord has got his men out here that's going to give you the 100% truth for free. And not going to charge you no money for no breakdowns, no prayers, no names, no counsel, none of that. You know, no advice, none of that. You're going to be able to get the truth for free, man. You see what I'm saying? And those are and that's the men of great millstone, man. And those that subscribe to the like doctrine, because they're not going to charge you they're not going to charge you to ask questions. They're not going to charge you to get counsel or to get some information regarding this truth. They're not going to charge you for a Hebrew prayer or a Hebrew breakdown or a Hebrew name. You know, they ain't going to charge you money for any of this stuff. You see? Not stuff, but they're not going to charge you for any aspect of the truth. You know? Because they sincere. And they know that their reward is coming from Yahweh Shemar Shah. It's not coming from men. You know? It's not coming from men. See? It says that your soul's delight is self and fatness, man. You know, and once you find the truth, you ain't gonna want to let it go. Because it's that good. It's like a beautiful woman, man. She's a fine woman. Once you get in touch with this fine woman, you ain't gonna want another woman. She's that bad, bro. This truth is that bad, you know. Once you get involved with this, next to this fine woman, you ain't gonna wanna get another. Once you get with this righteous man or this good man, you ain't gonna wanna, you know what I'm saying, this truth, you know what I'm saying? She's a feminine, you know, feminine spirit, wisdom, Sophia, you know what I'm saying? You know? And for the sisters, once you get next to this truth, she's gonna help you be a better helpmate. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna train you in a way to be a better wife. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say, you know? So yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be in the truth, man. It's a blessing, you know, to be in the straight walk. It's a blessing to be out here to teach this word and to fight that good fight of faith. Because we know we're gonna get rewarded in the end. We know we're gonna be rewarded, and we know we're gonna receive 100-fold in the kingdom, right? Verse 3, Isaiah 55:3, it says, incline your ears and come unto me, hear and your soul shall live, and I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David, man. See, so once you hear this word, you're going to live, man. This is life. Remember, the Lord put in front of us life and death. And he said, what? I put before you life and death. Choose these day, choose life so that you may live. So, you know what I'm saying? You gotta want this. That's why Scripture says in Romans 14:5, let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. You gotta want this truth, man, because this is life. This is the living water. This is life. You will live with this word. But see, if you reject this word, and you want the world, you're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not coming out to you. So the Lord making an everlasting covenant with the house of Israel, and He's showing the sure mercy to David, and great mercy by providing His word, His truth. See what I'm saying? By giving you the truth, that's mercy. That's the doors of mercy being open. That's the great mercy right there. By you having access to this truth, by men coming out on the highways and byways week in and week out, throughout the seasons of the year, teaching you this word, man. Bringing out this truth. That's mercy, because that's an opportunity for you to repent, to learn the name of the Lord, to get right. This is mercy right here, But you look at, see, Jacob's so bugged out and so in such a low state. They think mercy is giving them $2. Mercy is hooking them up with a blunt. Mercy is giving them a cigarette or a bottle. Mercy is giving them a winning scratch-off ticket. You know what I'm saying? Jacob's fucking going, man. And that's not mercy. This is the mercy right here. Get right, to learn the truth so that you get right when you're shot and escape the wrath which is to come. That's the mercy. Get your sins covered. By believing in Yahweh, through His Son Yahweh Shah, you get your sins covered. That's the mercy. Through this truth, man. You know what I'm saying? Not no damn scratch-off ticket and, you know what I mean? No winning scratch-off ticket or a bottle or a cigarette or some weed. Or a fucking PS5, video game shit. That's what they think mercy is. Or a higher paying job. They think mercy is, man. Jacob's just totally through. These niggas is going. You said Proverbs. The book of Proverbs, chapter 22. Proverbs 22, and verse 22, it says, rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. And see, that's what these wicked ass leaders do, man. Especially Esau, the super white man, he robbed the poor, man. He taxed the shit out of us, man. Right, because you constantly asking for donations and money.
I remember the dude said that he had to fight with one of the I don't know what position he had, but he fought with the dude because he wasn't giving him money. And he said the dude was trying to make it like lightweight extortion. He was kind of extorting.
You mean like a sergeant?
I believe he was something like that.
Oh yeah, that was last year. I remember that.
Dude said, I think he showed the video when the dude punched him and they pulled the gun out on him or some shit, right?
Nah, he made a dude.
He said he felt like he was gonna die. He pulled the gun out of him. He said he thought he was gonna die.
I remember a different kind. I remember it was one of the safaris in Hollywood. And he
was in the parking lot.
He was a member. Nah, he went on
the video.
Yeah, he went on. I think it was Instagram or Twitter, but he made a video talking about the corruption that's in that safari garden. I'll wait for a minute.
He showed the video. arguing with him. Like he had to, like he was recording on the low. And then the dude like punched him in the mouth, knocked him down to the ground and all that. And it just was like, damn, man, this is crazy because these are supposed to be the people, that you learning from and growing under.
Right.
And in truth, these are your very enemies, man.
Right, and the dude for Sakari, when Sakari came, I'm saying he was saying how like it was like corruption, how you had the head of the camp trying to extort brothers, wanting to pay his watch, pay for a watch, pay for other bills.
Yeah, buying him stuff.
Yeah, buy him stuff. And then throughout the camp, he wasn't teaching, and the brother was fed up. He seems to say that in the video. He was fed up because he would come, the head of the camp, of that camp, and that branch of Sakari, he would come and just beg for money. And be like, and when the YT man come up and look at the posts and stuff, he like, oh, you feel bad? Donate a couple dollars. They had their collection thing right there in front of the camp. You know what I'm saying? And most of the camp was actually...
He was like a hobo? Acting like a hobo?
Yeah, no, it was more like extortion. Like he was being a beggar.
Oh, wait. So he was coming to the camp and putting...
Yeah, he was extorting brothers, but he wasn't teaching. He was the head of that particular Sakari camp. He wasn't teaching. When he came, he was just asking people for money, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
He give it to him, he beat him up.
Yeah.
Shit.
Now I don't think he beat him up, but I don't know, like he'll manipulate them, like he gonna put him a good word for them or something like that. And he had got in trouble with a lot of brothers because he say I'll pay you back and never pay brothers back, kept taking money, never pay brothers back, and would just ask the constant for money. Story. Like demon on him. Proverbs 22 and 22. Rob not the poor because he is poor. And that's what Esau did, man. That's what Esau do. He constantly robbed the poor through taxes, right? He constantly robbed the poor, man. Constantly. Through taxes and also unrighteous decrees, man. Because also, too, through his foreign policies, he make other nations poor, too. Because he set up these puppet-ass weak leaders to make laws that strengthen America and that, you know what I'm saying, and their presence in that region, but weaken the people, leave them in a destitute state. So he oppressed the poor and inflict at the gate, man, at the jump.
That's his authority. That's how he wins. By keeping you under his tutelage, under his footstool. Make you as a footstool.
All right, and that infliction at the gate, as soon as they ask for assistance or help, right, you turn them down and oppress them even more.
Yeah.
Put your foot on that harder.
That's the same. That's these policies with taxes, tax increase, tax inflation. For what? Doing the same job, getting the same pay, but you put more taxes on the pay.
Right. And
So
too,
where's the win?
and also too, look at the project. You make billions of dollars of the projects, and you don't do shit for the project. You don't even get a new elevator. You could at least did that.
Right.
You don't even put a new
They
fucking elevator.
fired all the staff. So,
Right. But
you know
even
what I'm
worse, they have their own independent contractors who they contract to, because those jobs like plumbing, electricians, scaffolders,
Right.
painters,
Right.
masons, all that supposed to be distributed to the community so that the people that live in the projects can work. You see what I'm saying? But they don't get first dibs. Who get those first dibs? The private contractors. So they give the contracts to their partners, their colleagues, and then they'll start working, and then they'll fill those jobs for them. You know what I'm saying? All those different positions, man. So you robbing the poor, but not even giving them the opportunity that they deserve. You see what I'm saying? Then you making billions of dollars with the projects, but yeah, you don't fix nothing regarding the style of living. You don't fix the elevator, no new fridge, no new nothing. You don't even you know what I'm saying? You don't even, and you raise up the rent. Every year, man, you keep raising up the rent. Why don't you don't even try to make it to where all right, we'll cut the rent in half. You know what I'm saying?
What in half? They raise the rent every year.
Yeah, they don't want to, but that's the thing, they robbing the poor. If they poor, why don't you cut it in half and make it, you know what I'm saying? You see?
What? We're going to increase that because we want you to do what? Get the fuck out. We want you homeless. So now you solely dependent on us. Especially for those who don't have faith in the power, man.
Right.
Because if you got a
Full
place to
oppression.
live, then you still have some comfort.
Right.
You still have some form of way of thinking. And you saying to yourself like, yo, I can overcome this. I can come up out of this. But you can't because he's not gonna give you an opportunity to do so.
Right. And the thing is, too, you got, yeah, they just wicked, man. They oppress the poor, man. You know, because if you got to show mercy, you could have made it, the rent half off or made it bearable. But you ain't want to do that. You was oppressing the poor.
Right. He wants you.
And soon,
He wants you to spend the money that you gonna spend on some food for rent.
yeah,
You can't eat and pay rent.
you know what I realized? When that movie They Live, that's talking about them gutter rats. Remember, the wrestler was in it? Roddy Piper.
Oh, yeah.
They Live.
Uh-huh.
Talking about them gutter rats because I realized that it just hit me in the spirit. When you see the movie, you see Roddy Piper, he discovers who these people are, right? But the people at large don't know who they are, right? And in 2 Thessalonians 2:4, where it says they cannot come unless first that really be revealed. Because in the movie he got revealed, right? Right, who was keeping the people asleep and who was oppressing the earth was the wicked, right? Which was Esau, particularly Amalek, because soon that's the royal house of Esau, Amalek, which is a so-called small house. Because as soon when they found out who they were, they put the name on, they watching they like the others, like, oh yeah, we got one who can see.
Right. He know who we are.
He know who we are. We got one who can see. See, one with the truth, right? And that represent what? A member of the elect. Because they have eyes to see and ears to hear. So they can see, man, while the rest of the world is blinded. Esau is blinding the rest of the world. And that's what you were seeing in the movie, right? You seen when you put the glasses on, you seen the subliminal message where it says, buy, spend, consume, reproduce. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Procreate.
Which is the subliminal.
Work. Right, because
Be a slave and all that.
Right, because that's what's talking about keeping people asleep, man. And that was the way through advertising, through media, man. Through that propaganda machine, they keep people asleep, and that's what they still doing on the earth to this day. Esau is still using the news, right? That's what they say. Oh, in the movie, what was the major signal? Broadcasting signal was the news station. It was a news station, see? And that's spiritual because that's how Esau is doing it. He's using his media, that Medusa, right? Media, that witchcraft machine or platform to do what? To keep people asleep, to keep people in the dark, to keep them distracted from what's really going on. And to keep them off the trail of the truth. To keep them from realizing that he is the wicked that the Bible speaks about. He is the so-called white man. That is Esau. You see what I'm saying? So he used that propaganda machine, the media, to keep people distracted and asleep and unaware of the truth.
That's his device.
And what
That's his mechanism, brother.
And what did he do? He scrutinized the people that know the truth. This is why he calls them conspiracy theories. You see what I'm saying? Just like in the movie.
Conspiracy theories. He tried to make us what you call that, enemy of the state, man. Okay? That's the hurtful part. He want to turn you into Saddam Hussein. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Saddam Hussein, but yeah, what's the other dude? Last one they said blew up the world trade. Who was his name?
Osama bin Laden.
The last, right. They're trying to say we like that. America's top most wanted. You know? But yeah, you want to convince the world that the person that's telling the truth is the problem, while the lies continue to grow.
Right.
And continue to infect the people and having them under scrutiny, under the wine, and having them, misled on a regular basis. But when we come out here on these highways and byways and make these videos and talk this truth, what happens? You get a strike. Video get took down. Violating community standards. Like, but I could watch a video of somebody getting their damn hat blown off, and nothing is wrong with that. Ain't no strikes on that.
Nope.
Ain't violating no community standard there. But soon you start talking about Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah, it's a problem.
Right, and that's what they were doing in the movie They Live. They was basically what happened. They were saying that Rowdy Piper character, he was like, they was like, oh, he's a wanted man, and they was looking for him and stuff like that. And basically they were trying to They were trying to come against the group that can see, that had the glasses on, they had eye to see, to represent the elect. They was coming after them, man. Those that knew the truth. You see? So it wasn't a war against people, it was a war against the truth. Because they was warring between truth and lies, man. Because Esau, Edom, so-called white man, particularly Amalek, the royalty of Edom, they were trying to they were trying to push the lies out there so that they could live comfortably, right? Because people don't know that they're the wicked, that they're the devil. See what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like in the movie, they didn't know that they were the foreign invaders. They were the ones that were destroying the planet. See what I'm saying? They didn't, until you put the glasses on, you can see them clearly. You see, and that represents the truth. So as through this truth, we can see who the wicked is on the earth, who the one destroying the earth, who the one that causing problems for us as a nation on this planet Earth. That's why the scripture said, destroy him who destroyed the planet Earth. Let me get that. Revelation 11 and 18. Revelation 11 and 18.
Whoa.
And the nations were angry, and their wrath is come, right? Because that's talking about Revelation 7 and 16, how the nation shall hate the whore, and shall rend her flesh, all from paraphrasing, and shall burn her with fire, right? There's not going to be nothing left of America, because this hatred for America is building, man. These nations already hate America. That's what the uproar of the people is about. That's what these protests is about. That's happening with God in Venezuela. That just showed the hatred for America, man. These nations really don't like America, man. You know what I'm saying? And also, too, speaking on topics, Iran declared war against the United States. Yeah. They declared war. You know what I'm saying? So these nations hate America, man.
And who Iran running with?
Russia and China. BRICS.
Folding up.
Yep.
This is the folding up of the truth, okay?
Yeah, man.
Bringing out all the lies. You know what I'm saying? Exposing them for what they are.
Right, and now the Lord, he's bringing out that controversy of Zion. He gathered all the nations to war in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man. So these nations are angry with America. They hate America, man. Okay? And we're seeing that by examples of the protests that's going on right now regarding the Venezuela incident. It says, and the nations were angry, and their wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that they should, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, right? Because the dead represent those that spiritually dead, right? If you get that precept, those that dwell in the congregation outside of the truth, are dwell in the congregation of the dead. Because the spiritual dead is what it's talking about here. They're going to be judged. Those that don't know this truth, those that's outside of the truth, they're going to be judged, and their judgment is going to come out of way of ICBM missiles, man. Okay? Because that's going to be the ultimate judgment, the second death, the lake of fire. Alright? That's going to be the second judgment. The second death, that's going to be the ultimate judgment for these people. Right? That's just a mark that was a part of the beast system. They're going to be hit with ICBM nuclear missile, man. They're going to be burnt up. This is why Second Corinthians 10 it says that all things on this earth shall melt with fervent heat. You know what I'm saying? All things shall be dissolved with fervent heat. You know what I'm saying? All the elements, all the elements shall be dissolved with fervent heat. So that's what's going to go. That's what's going on. You know, when ICBM missiles hit, it's gonna destroy everything. You know. Now there's gonna be some parts of the world that's not gonna be hit with ICBM missiles, man. But America definitely gonna be hit with ICBM missiles. You see? Because all these countries, and that's how the Lord wants us to be. Because He's gonna burn America up to ashes, man. You know. It might be to where you have countries, they're gonna start launching the missiles. They start hitting certain countries, and then they're gonna try to negotiate with the others, with the nations that have nuclear capabilities, nuclear warheads. They're gonna try to negotiate for peace. Right? They're gonna try to negotiate for peace, and they're not gonna hear it. right? And they're going to keep firing and firing until America rendered to ashes. Because the scriptures say that America going to be a Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah today is ashes, bro. There's literally fire, brimstone, the fire came out of heaven and burned it to the ground. Sodom and Gomorrah to the ground. And that's the same fate America going to see, right? And everybody that's still in America at that time, they're going to be burnt up with America. You know what I'm saying? That's what the lake of fire that the apostle John seen in his vision, right? That was America, literally all four corners of America, was all lit on fire. That was the lake of fire that he was speaking about. The whole America literally burnt fire. You know what I'm saying? Lit on fire by way of ICBM missiles, man. So ain't gonna be nothing left regarding America, man. And no matter how much peace that you try to negotiate with the other nation, they're not gonna hear it because they're gonna be in the spirit to destroy you. Right? That's why they say they shall rend your flesh and burn her with fire, man. They're gonna be the same way how Cyrus regarding the Greeks. You had I believe Darius, right? He was negotiating with the Greek, with Alexander the Great, and he would send letters. And when you do research on the letters, he would try to make negotiations like, hey, I'll give you a third part of the kingdom, or I'll give you these gifts, just spend my kingdom, let me still rule. And Alexander wasn't trying to hear that because the Lord put him in a warlike spirit. He wanted to take down the Medo-Persians and take their land. He was in that spirit. He wasn't in that time of no peace on the negotiations. You see what I'm saying? When Alexander came, he ignored them letters. He wasn't in no time. He responded by saying, "Look, I want everything, nothing left." He was out to conquer. You know what I'm saying? Alexander the Freak, because the elders call him Alexander the Freak because he was a homosexual sodomite. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, he was in that spirit of conquering, and that's what he wanted to do. He conquered those. He wound up taking down the Medo-Persian Empire, and he took their lands. Right? You see, it took all their resources, as it is written. When the kingdom is wicked, then the kingdom shall be changed from one to another. You see. When the kingdom is getting by ill gain and ruling unrighteously, roughly paraphrasing, it shall be translated from one kingdom to another. And that's what happened throughout generations in history, right? At the height of the kingdom, what happened? Corruption started to build up, and through the corruption in that kingdom, it fell. And it got translated to another kingdom. And that happened to another kingdom. That happened to another kingdom. See? So there was a lot of corruption that was going on in the Medo-Persian and the Medes in the Medes Empire, right? That led to what? King Cyrus taking over the Medes, and then they joined together to become the Medo-Persian Empire. Because you had some that broke off from the Medes, that were Medians, and broke off from the Medes and joined with King Cyrus the Great. And that's the same thing with Eddie. With all these heathen empires, right? At the height of their wickedness, they caught tumbling down, and it's the same with America, man. You know what I'm saying? We're really the 250 years, because every king had 250 years to rule. So once that 250 years are up, you'll see the empire or the kingdom start coming down. And that's what we're seeing right now. The 250 years is approaching, is here, man. You know what I'm saying? We in that 250 year, And I want, like the elder said on the live, on Elder Lamadia's live at the main camp, Elder Lamadi at the main camp, you have one of the elders on the live that was saying that live, when Elder Lamadi went live, he had an elder there that was saying, basically roughly paraphrasing, that he wouldn't be surprised if the downfall starts happening at the Passover, because that's our New Year. You know what I'm saying? They have their New Year and wicked holidays. We have our New Year's and our holidays, which is the Passover. You know what I'm saying? We have our high holiday. They have their wicked high holidays. We have our high holidays. You know what I'm saying? We have our own high holidays. They have their holidays. We have our own high holidays. All right. So it wouldn't be no surprise if this country really start taking a right downhill spiral faster down the drain faster after the Passover, man. You know what I'm saying? After the Passover. So yeah, man. We ain't got much longer in this kingdom. We ain't got much longer. This kingdom coming to an end. It says, continue on, it says, Revelation 11:18, and the nations were angry, and their wrath has come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that they should have given reward unto thy servants, the prophets, And to the saints and them that fear thy name, small and great, and should have destroyed them, was destroy the earth, man. So the saints, the prophets, we in the time of judgment right now. That's how the scripture said that they should be judged. In the time of the dead, that they should be judged. We in the time of judgment, man. The Lord is judging these nations, right? And right now, he's starting with his house. Starting with those that know that they're Israelites. Going back to 1 Peter 4:17. He's starting with those that know this truth, that know that they're Israelites. We're being judged first. Then the 2/3 are going to be judged. The rest of the nation. Right? The Lord is judging the nations now. But judgment is starting with those that know that they're Israelites, man. Okay? And that reward is coming. Because like the scripture said, should it be rewarded, the servants, worship should come to the servants, roughly paraphrasing, right? So the servants, which are us, the believers that have been serving the Lord and doing the work on the side, we got a reward coming to us, man. The Lord gonna reward us for our labors of love and our work that we put in. So we got a reward coming to us. So while you have 2/3 of the nations have destruction waiting for them, right? The wrath of the Lord waiting for them. We have waiting for us a reward, salvation, and ultimately that crown of life, and immortality waiting for us, man, in the kingdom of heaven. You see? Now we know from Romans 11:26 that the 2/3 are going to be in the kingdom, but they're going to have to die on the side. They're going to take part in the second death, which is the ICB of the destruction. Okay? So we got a reward coming to us. So this is the time to push. This is the time to lock in. This is the time to go harder. Because we got that reward at hand, man. As we draw closer to their judgment, we're drawing closer to our reward. You see? Again, Revelation 11:18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that they should give a reward, and that they should give its reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name. See? And that's not everybody going to receive that reward. It's only those that believe in Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Because we fear his name, right? The prophets know the secrets, man. We know the secrets. We fear his name. So the reward is only going to be given to those that believe on his name, man. That truly fear his name and serve that name. You see? To the believers, man. Those of the household of faith. Those, the Yashar Allah of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah. The Israel Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah. Right? Not to every Israelite. And not to everybody in the damn world, man. As is written in Amos, the 5th chapter, woe unto you. And different gods, and they're gonna be destroyed, man, because they not in the right spirit, and they teaching and following the wrong doctrine. Okay, so the reward is coming to elect, man. We just gotta hold fast and stay firm. The reward is coming to us, and that the Lord is gonna destroy him who will destroy the earth, which is Esau, the so-called white man. Because who cut down trees? Who poisoned the air? Who poisoned food, man? You know what I'm saying? Who dropped bombs on different nations, man? Right, destroying landscapes, destroying. You know what I'm saying? Who be doing deforestation?
Amazon jungle, man, rainforest.
Right, deforestation. Who be doing that? They be Esau, the so-called white man, man. He destroyed everything. That's why the scripture in the movie Oppenheimer, the movie Oppenheimer, they call him what? Oppenheimer, they call him the destroyer of worlds, right? When his wife was talking to him, and she read a manuscript, and he said, "What? I have become the destroyer of worlds, man." And she said that, and she had the man who was responsible for making the atomic bomb. That's all spiritual, you see, because the angels were working on his mind to give him the formula to make the atomic bomb, to then drop that nuke. And the same thing, the angels is working on these neurophysicists and neuroscientists, nuclear scientists, to do what? These ICBM missiles. Because these are going to be the very tools that the Lord is going to use to destroy this country and to punish the wicked, man. Yep. So they really create the weapons of their own destruction. They really dug their own grave, and they don't even realize it. By we creating the ICBM missile, they dug their own grave.
Right. That's what it means to be found wanted. You know what I'm saying? The scripture is talking about that. Found wanted, meaning you've gone as far as you're gonna go, buddy.
Right.
You understand? Like you dug your own grave, man. Now it's time to just lay there. Just get in there, get the casket, put cover yourself up with the dirt.
Right.
It's over for you.
Huh. And that's what he's doing. He's gonna destroy. He's a destroyer. He saw the so-called white man as a destroyer. But that was particularly talking about Oppenheimer. You know, the one that was responsible for the Manhattan Project. That was also responsible for the atomic bomb.
Document.
No, that was it was a movie based on a Edomite scientist, Oppenheimer. Yeah, brothers the speaking on that. They did a lesson on that too.
Watch it.
Yeah, I seen the movie. It was basically based on the 1940s, because that was during the time of World War II, right? They recruited Oppenheimer, right? Who was a German scientist, and they recruited him to basically it's what's called the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, I know that.
And they basically was building an atomic bomb. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, that shit from Nagasaki to Hiroshima.
Yeah, and right, and they dropped it on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and they did so much devastating damage, man, that he was in the movie. He was publicly speaking against him because he seen the destruction that it caused, man.
The dude who created the MOTV said the same thing.
Because he seen that it could wipe out the world, man. He really thought that bomb had the power to wipe out the world. So he was in the movie. He was speaking against it.
Seen the guy
of the hydrogen bomb.
who made the chip.
No.
The guy who made MOTV chip.
The RFID?
Yeah, that
No.
he was speaking about it. He was spoken about this portion of it. He said he felt bad. He started feeling bad about it. Create.
Right,
Said
but
he
that
backed
was
up off of it, but it was too late.
Yeah. Because he can't. That's the will of the Lord. He gonna do what the Lord commands him to do. Man's going is not the Lord, not of his own. You know, how can he understand it on his own way? You know, he can't. So he gonna do what the Lord commanded him to do. The man wanted him to make that RFID chip. And for Abraham, the Lord wanted him to make that atomic bomb. But for the nuclear scientists, the Lord wanted them to make them ICBMs, right? You see? Everybody do, there's no such thing as free will. Everybody do the will of the Lord. Right? But the Lord wants something at the end of the day. Let's go into Isaiah. Chapter 54. Nah, I was 54. 16. We got no precept? This is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. It says, "Behold, I've created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire." Right? So that's talking about the nuclear scientists, right? The Lord gave them the knowledge to be able to make thermonuclear weapons, man. Them ICBM missiles. He gave them the technology and the science to do that. You see? And that also applies to the movie Oppenheimer because in the movie he was having to do with formula, math equations.
Right.
And he put all that together and he wrote it down. I think in a notebook, he put it all together and he added that into the Manhattan Project to make the atomic bomb. You see? So the angel was working on his mind, giving him the instructions to make the bomb. You see? And that's the same thing. The Lord is working on the minds of these nuclear scientists and physicists via the way to the angels to give them the formula needed to make these ICBM nuclear missiles, man. Because again, they're digging their own grave, but they just don't know it. Right? That's what the Lord also wants them to do. He wants these nuclear scientists to make ICBM. And I think these ICBMs can be shot to America and render this bitch to ash. Yep, burn it to the ground. It says, Isaiah 54:16, "Behold, I created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire," man. And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. So the same way how you have an ironsmith, what do? He forges weapons, armor, right? And he melts it down. He melts the metals and the material down, right? Then he puts it in a mold, right? Then what happens? He cools it down. And as it cools down, right? He don't cool it down. As it molds it, right? What do? He start hammering it. Boom, 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 boom. He start hammering it. You know? Put it in the fire and start hammering it. Boom, 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 boom. So it can shake, so it can get strong, and the shape can form. You see what I'm saying? And he constantly do that. And so the weapon is complete or the armor is complete, and then he'll cool it off. You see? So he's talking about. So it's talking about the development of these nuclear, of these new ICBM nuclear weapons because they constantly test them, right? They'll work on it the same way how you put iron. You know what I'm saying? Like an iron smith will make weapons and different armor. It's the same way how they make it in the ICBM. They put it in the fire. You know what I'm saying? They're working on the ICBM missiles, on the nuclear warheads, and then what happens? They test them out. You know, and then they strengthen it if they got to go back and strengthen them. You know, they test it, they strengthen it. You know, and they keep working on it until it's completed. You see, the same way how an ironsmith will keep hammering down on that sword until it's completed, until it's sharp, until it's ready. You know, so that thing is nearly indestructible. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing. They're going to keep working on some to the ICBM highly destructive. You know what I'm saying? Until it reaches until it's the way that it's supposed to be regarding destruction. You know how it's supposed to be regarding destruction, right? So they can do that devastating damage that the Lord was speaking about. The ICBM is going to do. You know, they're going to keep working on it until they can do that devastating damage, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's completed, so the ICBMs are completed, right? And it says, behold, I created the smith that blow up the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy it. You know, the waster is to destroy it, right? That's the ICBM, because the Lord is going to use this, they'll use the ICBM to waste this bitch. This called Babylon the Great America, man. Right? He's going to use it to waste, yeah, to blow her up, man. So the waster is the ICBM missiles, man. So this is all prophecy that you have these nuclear scientists and these other nations having nuclear warheads. Because that's in Joel the 2nd chapter, Joel 3 and 2. Colossians, Joel the 3rd chapter, Joel 3 and 2, it says, I will let the weak now say that I am strong. Because that's what's happening now. You have these weak nations, these once weak nations that didn't have ICBM weapons. Now, they now the Lord is working on their nuclear scientists, you know, helping them to prove nuclear scientists and the minds to be able to make ICBM nuclear warheads. You see what I'm saying? So now they got nuclear weapons. You see, they're becoming strong, strengthening their military, boosting their military force. You see, and that's all so that these nations can fight amongst each other in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, right, which is Saudi Arabia, right, the Middle East. And that's where World War III or Armageddon is gonna Armageddon in the Hebrew is Armageddon in the Greek is gonna be fought. All right, it's gonna be fought there in the Middle East. Okay.
Which is what they doing right now in Venezuela. He's trying to, what you call, as though he can rule. And, well, I can follow up on what he just did. He kidnapped the president and his wife. And the follow-up is the country. And the next move behind that is to convince the world that him taking the oil is part of his spoil. See, because Esau is known for killing, rape, rob, and pillaging, and then take the spoils. He don't just kill you, he don't just conquer, he take the spoils. Take your land resources, take your cattle, take your minerals. You know what I'm saying? He takes everything, he leaves you bare. That's his whole thing. Then it says, this is verse 2, it says, to turn aside the needy from judgment, right? And to take away the right from the poor of my people. That widows may be their prey. They pray rather. And that they may rob the fearless. So, like again, just what I was saying, like that's what they do. They rape, rob, and pillage, and then they take over your resources. That's the whole point of him going over there doing what he did. He went over there to overthrow a government and try to induce his doctrine.
144 Elijah, how
Yep,
about
yep,
I
yep,
gotta put
yep,
this
yep.
up. This is
Come
from
Hold on.
yeah, it's a lot.
And then that was the point of his move to take over, utilize the oil to the benefit of this country, right?
Right.
And then slide somebody in there that can actually work for them and do the things that they want them to do. You know what I'm saying? So you could control Venezuela remotely, in a sense, if you understand what I'm saying.
This is NBC News live update. It says Trump warns Venezuela to cooperate or risk new U.S. military attack. It says the president threatens to seize the semi-autonomous Dash territory of Greenland, drew a new warning from U.S. allies in Europe today. So his allies, the American allies, are disagreeing with the U.S. Trump movement. And they warned him like this is going on because he attacked the sovereign nation.
Right, because if you accept it and go with it, then what happens to you? You might be next on the chopping block. So you have to stand a united front with the other allies and say, yo, you off, homie.
Right, but
You out of pocket. Because
yeah.
if I don't say that, then what? I accept what you're doing. See, you got to understand in life, man, if you don't agree to a thing
Right.
publicly, you actually agreeing to it silently.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what happens is they start to, you know, these people, they have analysts who do that, man. Check out these countries and see how they're moving.
Right.
And where their stance is on certain issues
Right.
and political fronts and so on and so forth. The whole point is to see where you at, because now when it's time for us to run down on y'all, we know how to attack.
Right.
We know how to take over, because guess what? You had nothing to say when all of this shit was happening, so why would you say something when I come and take over your house?
And that's what go back to we read in Revelation 11 chapter. They said the nations are angry because the U.S. allies is warning America like this is going off, man. Like the Europeans is warning these Americans like, hey, y'all going off, man. Y'all basically going on. You know what I'm saying? So the U.S. allies, they're like, yo, in Europe, they're like, nah, this is going on. You know what I'm saying? Because now you attacked the sovereign, you attacked the sovereign nation.
Yeah.
You took their president and his wife. Then I read here that they was in New York. They was in the court in New York, and they pleaded not guilty. They're like, I'm a prisoner of war. So you kidnapped them against their own will. Then you threaten to take over the oil firms, right? If they don't cooperate, and even attack them the second time. This is the devil. He's showing his horns, man. It says by CNN News, what we know, it says President Trump told NBC News he could launch a second military operation into Venezuela if its acting president stopped cooperating. He also said the U.S. may subsidize an effort by oil firms to rebuild the country's energy infrastructure. All right, so that means it's not going to stop helping the country, because if they need the U.S. to help the energy, right? And the U.S. is not helping them build energy, what's going to happen? There's going to be millions of homes without power. See? They threaten to leave millions of homes without power, and that also will cripple the country, because power is needed for a country to function. Because you need power to power hospitals, schools, businesses, homes. You need that. And if you don't got no power, that whole country going dark. The whole country infrastructure is crippled overnight, man. Like also like what a lot of analysts say regarding like a cyber attack that can happen in America. They say that if the power grid in America would be here, they would send America back to the
Check this out.
all fucked up. Yeah, I got some more. It says it also says a U.S. official told NBC News that a recent classified intelligence assessment determined that the top member of the regime, including new acting leader Delcy Rodriguez, were best positioned to lead a stable government if Nicolas Maduro lost power.
And who is he? He's somebody America is affiliated with?
No, he's a new acting leader of Venezuela.
A new what?
Acting leader. The Delcy Rodriguez.
They put him in there.
You know?
They put him in there. Let me tell you something, man. He's for no.
We told you that. We said they gonna get out.
For no. What the hell, yo? What happened? Tell me that, man.
I'm trying
But
to.
I'm gonna read in NLT,
Yeah.
right? It's Ecclesiastes.
So like, yeah, we gonna the technical difficulties. Um. Yeah.
Read this thing.
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
up, huh?
I know. No, I'm fixing this. Look, it says it's locked. It's not.
Vice can't rotate.
Yeah. It says all rotation is locked. Rotate the vice back. I'm trying to do that. Rotate it back. Yeah. All right. All right. Come on.
I think that was the brother too. On this Ecclesiastes 5 and 8, right? I'm gonna read it out of the NLT. It says, "Don't be surprised if you see a poor person being oppressed by the powerful, and if justice is being carried throughout the land." Now, peep this. It says, "For every official is under orders from higher up, and matters of justice get lost in red tape and bureaucracy." Now you see that's what's going on with Trump. People assuming that Trump made the call to run down on Venezuela and take over. No, that's the elite. That's them 12 banking families. Exactly. But peep game. It says it right here. On higher up, and matters of justice get lost in red tape. Matters of justice meaning the government, right? They deal with law and order, and justice. The shit get lost in red tape. Why? Because of bureaucracy. What's bureaucracy? And truth is currency. It's money, right? So, and that's bank. Come on, man. That's the banking families.
You see that's going on now. They gonna put in a puppet leader.
Exactly.
Right? And that what? It's
Exactly.
And
And
that's
that's
because the whole thing was they wanted oil the whole time.
Exactly.
They wanted Venezuela.
That's it. That's it. That's right there. We ain't got to go to the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to go all the way across the country and start a war to get some oil. No, we can go right here and smack these people upside their head. But they didn't take into account to China connection, Russia's connection, Iran being connected. Like they didn't take account of all of these things, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But let's not get too excited. Let's keep it to a thing, and we might as well close out.
Right.
I just wanted to get that point out there.
It says NATO allies warn they will not defend will not stop defending. NATO allies warn. This is NBC News, by the way. It says NATO allies warn they will not stop defending the values of sovereignty and territorial integrity after Trump said he was very serious about his desire to seize the semi-autonomous territory of Greenland, and that's where the oil firms are.
Yeah.
So he wanted that oil. He's like, he's dead
You're
serious.
not playing, but you gotta understand. This is what. I think the leaders like. You know what? Fuck. Let's pop this shit. Let's pop this shit.
But see, that's what building the animosity and
Yeah.
hatred amongst the nations. So this is why the scripture said in the book of Obadiah that the other nations will hate him and he will not understand it. Esau not going to understand why the other nations hate him or why they won't be turning against him.
Shit.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's no wisdom in T-men.
Yeah.
T-men are the so-called Germans, man, which are also another form, which are also Edomites.
Yeah.
Ain't no wisdom there, so they're not going to understand why these other nations hate America, why these other nations want to come and destroy Babylon, man. They're not going to get it. They're not going to understand it, but we understand because they're going to see this devil as he is. The horns is coming out, man. And they're going to see all the wicked fruits and corrupt fruits that they producing.
So listen, man.
You know?
We got to get out of here, man. Because this battery is about to die.
Yeah.
We don't want it to shut off in the middle of the live and we don't close properly. So we're going to shut it down.
Look.
Whatnot.
Yeah,
Bureaucracy, right?
Yeah, just real quick, bureaucracy. The definition of bureaucracy, it says a system of government in which most of the important decisions are made by state officials rather than by elected representatives. State or organization governed or managed as a bureaucracy. The
Right.
officials in the bureaucracy is considered as a group or a hierarchy. See?
Yeah, that's a bunch of weirdos. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the government.
Right, and you hit it on the point beautifully.
Yeah.
I wanted to look up because I was trying to figure out what that word meant.
Oh.
But you hit it beautifully. It's the elite, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, because it said what the decisions are made by state officials rather than elected representatives.
Exactly.
So you want to see the elites, the higher ups, making. Also, it says the officials in the bureaucracy are considered as a group or hierarchy. It says a state or organization governed or managed as a bureaucracy. So you got higher ups that's managing the elected officials, and they're making the decisions.
That's what the
They're
scripture
making the
said.
decisions. So
Don't
these are
be
the
surprised.
so these international banking families, these Rothschilds, are Rockefeller, and America is governed as a bureaucracy. So these international banking families, these Rothschilds and Rockefellers are making the important decisions, man. They're making the decisions for the elected officials, man.
Right.
So it's not really Trump that's doing this.
Yeah.
He got the
He
approval.
don't got no power. He's
Yeah.
a puppet himself.
He got the approval of the elites.
Right. They the ones told him drop that motherfucking bomb.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go over
Bureaucracy.
there, take what's belong to you.
He got permission.
Yeah.
The bureaucracy. So so in the bureaucracy, you can't. The elites, you got a hierarchy. So if you want to make if an elected official want to make moves, they got to get permission from the hierarchy. All right. So Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson to the lands of sheep of Yahweh by Shemal Shah. Like the brother said earlier, the battery's dying, so we want to close out, before it dies out. Before it dies out. And you got a song you want to use? All right.
Just finish closing that, right?
So with that, Lord willing, we hope this was an edifying lesson to the sheep and lambs of Yahweh by Shemal Shah. Lord willing, through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shemal Shah, we come out with another live lesson this week to edify and feed the sheep. And with that, Lord willing, you was edified. Lord willing, you was edified, Salakia. And with that, we give all honor, all praises, and all glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, and Kadash. Khan. Double honors to the elder apostle and the elder of the great millstone.
Right.
And salutations to the hopeful elect.
Right.
Salutations, Shalom. Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Baba Ball.
Ababa Ball. Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Ababa Ball. Shalom. Kwam Yasharallah. Ababa Ball. Shalom. Till the next time we say Shalom.
We'll be back out here Thursday, Lord willing.
Khan, Shalom.
Sí, no queda.
Okay.
De police.
Policia?
Yeah.